Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Bold and Beautiful went from 0 to 60 in one day plus. Why next week promises to be wild. Not gonna lie. I considered headlining this week's column. Nothing happened on Bold and Beautiful in the last 5 days, and then, for the main body of the story, just typing, Grey's Anatomy style, seriously. But then Friday's episode rolled around and everything changed. Last week, much of the story centered on Steffy's struggle to process that she'd taken a life and Finn's difficulty with the fact his wife killed his, say it with me, birth mom. This week, there was a very distinct, and kinda off-putting, switch in the storytelling. As Finn had visions of his dead mom laying in a pool of blood, Steffy was left to coddle her husband and wipe up his man tears. Obviously, we're setting up a scenario in which Finn pushes Steffy away as Liam, who's been circling like a buzzard for months, moves in for the kill. And while I've written repeatedly about the fact I want Liam to stay far, far away from Steffy, damned if I wasn't kinda rooting for him this week. Why? Because Finn weeping over the woman who tried to kill him, Steffy, Lee, and, over the years, half the cast makes absolutely zero sense. I'm not a huge fan of Ridge's typically blunt get over it attitude, but yeah, get over it, Finn. You're supposed to be supporting Steffy, not the other way around. Of course, there's a pretty easy solution to all of this. Years ago, I went to see the movie The Amityville Horror, which was of course legendarily based on a supposedly true story. One of the conversations nearly everyone who saw it had afterwards was, how much of that haunting would you have put up with before leaving? My cousin summed my feelings up best by saying, when the house tells you to get out, you get out. And right now, Steffy and Finn's house is definitely sending them that message. And look, this brings us to a problem with not only Bold and Beautiful but Sister Soap Young and Restless, too, and that is this: they want to tell us that the characters are these powerful, rich folks with private jets and mansions, yet they don't allow these characters to behave like rich people. I mean, why in the world haven't Steffy and Finn packed up and moved out of their murder house? Go to a fancy hotel. Go to Grandpa's mansion. Or, and this is a crazy idea, buy a new house. Honestly, I wish soaps focused less on rich people and more on ordinary people. It's one of the reasons I've become so incredibly obsessed with the English soap EastEnders, which features downright common folks and incredibly modern storylines which American soap writers would never attempt in 1,000 years. Thomas and Hope's dinner was fun and cute and romantic, but I'd like to recommend that he stop saying things like, I've been thinking about our history. Because there are some dark things back there you might not want Hope, or anyone else, thinking about, Tommy boy. Of course, because this is Bold and Beautiful, which routinely has characters ignore anything that happens to be inconvenient to the currently unfolding story. Thomas means Rome in general and this moment in particular. On the surface, that seems like a pretty awesome memory to be reflecting on. But in reality, it's the moment Hope kissed a man other than her husband. It's also a scene which left many of us thinking, okay, there's clearly something going on with Hope. Does she have multiple personalities? Was this just a moment of weakness? The questions which the show has never really answered. Hope underwent a radical personality switch, what I've referred to as the sexual awakening of Hope Logan, without a single bit of explanation offered, then or now. But maybe, just maybe, we'll get a clearer understanding of where her head's at next week. Last week, Steffy and Hope clashed in a way that felt very odd. Hope was trying to support Steffy, who wasn't hearing anything the blonde had to say. They wound up kinda sniping at each other, and it all felt a little off. In reality, however, I now realize that it was setting the stage for what's about to go down. You see, next week's teasers reveal that the Steffy/Hope feud is going to kick into high gear again. Why? Well, because of Hope's relationship with Thomas. Given that Friday's episode ended with Thomas once again asking Hope to become his bride, it seems safe to assume that next week, she's going to refuse to put that ring on her finger. The real question is why. She's certainly been showing all the signs of a woman in love over the past couple weeks. But hey, if they decided that Hope wants to continue to have a more casual relationship with Thomas, who may or may not accept that, I'm all for it. This soap far too often plays by some old-school morality where there are only two options, single or dashing down the aisle. If they have hope, say, you know what? I did the marriage thing with Liam and it didn't work out so well. I'm happy with the way things are now, I'd be 100% down with it. I get that Luna wants to know who her dad is. But did anybody else find it weird that the reason she suddenly demanded Poppy spill the paternity beans was so she could talk to the mystery man about the night she slept with Zend? I can't help feeling bad for Poppy. She has clearly done an amazing job raising Luna, and it's not as if she purposefully slipped her daughter those special mints. I still don't get how Luna didn't realize she'd gotten her mom's drugs, as I'm betting they weren't in similar containers. Although how easily could the show have explained this away by having Luna comment on her mom's cute mint case and having Poppy later present her with one of her very own. I swear, half of my issues with this show could be solved so easily if someone just bothered to say, hey, how do we get from here to there in a way which makes sense, instead of just ignoring logic. But what I didn't expect was that at the end of the week, Poppy would show up on Finn's doorstep saying she needed to talk to him. Why? Because Luna's asking questions about her pop. Now, there have been some subtle, for this show, anyway, hints in the past that Finn might be Luna's father, but fans have largely poo-pooed them as trashy speculation. But it's beginning to look a whole lot like maybe Finn and Poppy did the horizontal mambo during the time that they were living under the same roof. When Liam was talking to Bill about how traumatized Steffi was by taking someone's life, wouldn't it have been incredibly easy for the writers to slip in a line about that time the men plowed down poor dead Vinny? Sure, it turned out to be some weird, misguided suicide, but for weeks, Liam damn near lost his mind because of the resulting guilt. We flashed back to Thomas and Hope's time in Rome quite a bit this week, letting the show get their money's worth out of that remote. Heck, I'm surprised they didn't find a way to work in those drone shots of Ridge and Taylor sharing a smooch. Oh, wait, we don't mention Taylor. My bad. Maybe if and or when the role is recast again. I really need the show to stop having Zend moonily flash back to the night he slept with Luna. He knows it wasn't consensual, no matter how he might like to frame it. It's just beyond gross to have him fantasizing about rape, accidental or otherwise. And there is a storyline waiting for him that is so much better just dying to be told. In the details heart of the bustling city, where dreams are as tall as skyscrapers and ambition thrives like wildfire, there existed a modest boutique named Bold and Beautiful. Nestled between the towering giants of commerce, it seemed inconspicuous, almost invisible, to the bustling crowd that rushed past its doors each day. Yet, within its modest walls lay a world of creativity waiting to explode into the limelight. For years, Bold and Beautiful had lingered in the shadows, its windows adorned with delicate garments that whispered tales of elegance and sophistication. But for all its charm, the boutique remained a hidden gem, unnoticed by the masses who sought out more renowned fashion houses. Its owner, the enigmatic Isabella, possessed a vision that exceeded the boundaries of the ordinary. She dreamed of transforming her humble establishment into a beacon of style and innovation, a destination revered by fashionistas far and wide. One fateful morning, as the sun cast its golden rays upon the city streets, Isabella unlocked the doors of Bold and Beautiful with a newfound determination gleaming in her eyes. Today would mark the beginning of a revolution, a seismic shift in the fashion landscape. With a flurry of excitement, she began to rearrange the store, infusing every corner with her signature flair. The hours flew by in a whirlwind of activity as Isabella meticulously curated the displays, each garment chosen with the precision of a sculptor shaping marble. From vibrant prints to sleek silhouettes, her selections reflected a kaleidoscope of tastes and inspirations. As the day wore on, whispers of anticipation spread through the city like wildfire, drawing curious onlookers to the doorstep of Bold and Beautiful. And then, as if by magic, it happened. The first customer stepped across the threshold, their eyes widening in awe at the spectacle before them. Word spread like wildfire, and soon, a steady stream of fashion enthusiasts flooded into the boutique, their hearts racing with excitement. Bold and Beautiful had ignited a spark that would set the entire city ablaze. With each passing hour, the energy within the boutique crackled with electricity, as Isabella and her team worked tirelessly to cater to the influx of patrons. From seasoned fashion connoisseurs to wide-eyed newcomers, each visitor was captivated by the allure of Bold and Beautiful's transformation. The air buzzed with excitement, mingling with the intoxicating scent of possibility. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow upon the city streets, Isabella stood amidst the whirlwind of activity, a triumphant smile gracing her lips. Bold and Beautiful had transcended its humble origins, soaring to dizzying heights in a single day. But this was only the beginning. As the week unfolded, the momentum continued to build, fueled by the fervor of the city's inhabitants. Bold and Beautiful became more than just a boutique, it became a phenomenon, a symbol of creativity and ingenuity. Celebrities and influencers flocked to its doors, eager to bask in the splendor of Isabella's vision. And just when it seemed that things couldn't get any more exhilarating, whispers began to circulate of an upcoming event that promised to shake the foundations of the fashion world. Isabella had something extraordinary up her sleeve, a grand unveiling that would leave the world in awe. As the anticipation reached a fever pitch, the city held its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Next week promised to be wild, a whirlwind of excitement and intrigue as Bold and Beautiful prepared to take its place on the world stage. And with Isabella at the helm, there was no telling what wonders awaited those bold enough to step into the spotlight.